Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Right, before I go any further, the first thing I want to do. Oh, bollocks. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Right, as usual, before I go any further, I want to give a great big shout out to an old colleague of mine who used to work. Oh, fuck. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Right, before I go any further, as usual, I want to give a great big shout out to an ex-colleague of mine. He got himself another job, probably, I think it was about 6 months ago, but my concept of time nowadays is terrible, so it's probably longer. But he got himself a new job anyway. He's doing quite well in it. I had a little chat over Messenger with him last weekend, and I promised I'd just say hello. So Joe Raven, morning mate, I do miss you. I miss our little chats when you used to pass through the canteen while I was cleaning in there, topping up your water bottle and all that sort of thing. So I do miss you, mate. Hope you're doing okay, which I know you are because she said you were. And hi and good morning to you. So that's that one done. The next thing is thank you to everybody for the supportive message that you sent me, or supportive messages that you sent me yesterday regarding Maya. She was poorly again. It wasn't as serious as last time, but it wasn't good. So we had to run her over to the vets in Derby, obviously with the one being round the corner not being open. And they took a look at her and basically said she'd picked up some kind of an airborne infection. They'd had 2 or 3 dogs in over the last sort of day or so with exactly the same symptoms, so they pretty much knew what they were looking for. They gave her an injection. They've sent her home with some pills which she is absolutely refusing to take. I've tried everything. I'm going to try hiding them in oh, my glasses are all crooked again. Why is this? There you go. I'm going to try hiding them in a piece of lamb later on, which we've got for dinner, and hopefully I can get her to take it that way. But she is so crafty. But what I didn't realise was that a dog's sense of smell is 10,000 more times more intense than ours. So what you're supposed to do is when you're going to handle meds, wash your hands thoroughly, because they will detect straight away if you've got medication on your hands or whatever. So I'm not finished with her yet. I've written off yesterday's because she absolutely wouldn't take them. For the rest of the week, if I have to throw them down my throat herself, she will take them definitely, because 220 something quid for a consultation and some pills is a lot of money. So I really want, plus more than anything, I wanted to get well, and she's a lot better than she was, absolutely. But I need to make sure that she takes these meds. So but anyway, thanks ever so much for all the supportive messages that you sent for her. She is a lot better, which is why I'm sitting in front of the camera doing this now, because I didn't think I'd be in the right frame of mind to be doing this had she been either poorly still or been kept in yesterday, which was our biggest fear. But they sent her home with these meds, so all I've got to do is find a way of getting her to take them. So thanks again, guys, much appreciated. I feel a rant brewing, but I'm not going to do it today. I'm going to save it till the next time. I put a post on, was it last week, concerning a 27-year-old guy who watched Fawlty Towers for the first time ever, based on other people's opinions and based on recommendations from parents and family and this, that, and the other, as the funniest comedy ever, which it is. And he had quite a few interesting opinions on it. Now, I would like to read out this post, even though you've probably all seen it. I would like to read it out and give it some perspective by comparing it to something that I watched, or we watched, the other night, which was about as funny as piles. It was just awful. It's probably the sweariest. I wouldn't say offensive, because I don't get offended by anything, but I can imagine a lot of people would have thought, Bloody hell, that's a bit strong. But we'll come back to that later. I need to get a sort of a coherent argument together. I don't just want to read his email out and say, this is shit, blah, blah, blah. I need to compare it to something. So leave that with me. That is coming next time. So be ready for that. So, right, I'll start with comments. I'm also going to be showing off very shortly all the DVDs and Blu-rays that are under the TV at the moment. And believe me, there's quite a pile of them. Normally when I think I'm going to watch something or want to watch something, I'll run upstairs, grab it and put it by the TV or under the TV, and that pile has grown quite considerably since the last time I did it. So I'll be showing those off in a little while. So I'll start with some comments as usual. Critical Winker. I know who this is now because I asked him. It's Lee from work. Now I'm really confused. It's Friday today, isn't it? Yeah, what it was, I dropped the last video and I will be dropping all future videos on Friday afternoon, and I think it sort of caught him off guard because he's used to them dropping into his inbox on a Saturday morning at 4 a.m. But I just happened to be at home on Friday afternoon. I thought, do you know what, I'm just going to drop it now. It'll save getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to drop it then. Plus, I don't know about you, but my weekend starts not when I clock off from work, but when I walk through the door and I've done everything I need to do and I've showered and put my scruffs on. That is when my weekend starts. So that's normally about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I thought it'd be a good time. I'm assuming everybody else pretty much feels the same because there's been a lot of support for it. Everybody seems to quite like it. So they're going to be dropping now on a Friday afternoon. Instead of Saturday morning. Plus it gives you an extra evening to sort of watch it and comment on it. But as always, don't worry if you don't get a chance or you don't get a chance to watch the video or comment. There's always another one in a couple of weeks. It really, really doesn't matter. It's not earth-shattering, is it? So yes, you were quite correctly, it was Friday afternoon. David. Morning, David. Wow, what an amazing collection of birthday gifts, especially the projector. It's beautiful, isn't it? I can't wait to do a video of it actually working. It does work because I've turned it on, I've pointed it as a wall and the lamp does work. I've just got to actually thread one of those films through it, which I will be doing, and I will be doing a video of it when I do it. Who are some of your favourite British actors and actresses? Now I'm winging it with this because I didn't, with all the drama with Maya yesterday, I didn't really have time to sort of look at questions and come up with answers and this, that and the other. So I will be winging it a bit. So if I have to put certain questions off to the next video, please do forgive me. Favourite British actors and actresses? Off the top of my head, Roger Moore. I would say Richard Attenborough. Female actresses. Joan Collins. I love Joan Collins' films. There are so many. I'll transfer that over to next time, mate. They're the only two that I can think of off the top of my head. Itchy snoz, sorry. So I'll come back on that. Thoughts on the Roger Moore documentary? I thought it was well done. I've not seen it yet, mate. I'm going to be taking a look at it. I've got it. I just haven't had a chance to take a look yet. But I will try to get that watched. I'll make a note for when the next video hits, and I can let you know what I think of it. I do enjoy a good sort of movie star documentary. The last one I watched would probably have been the Christopher Reeve story, which was absolutely heartbreaking, but a brilliant documentary nonetheless. So I will let you know what I think of that when I've actually watched it. What are some of your favourite actor documentaries? What would you recommend? I'm coming back on that one. I need to bring that up on Google and just see which ones have been about, and I can basically say, oh yeah, I've seen that one, that was good. So leave that with me. There's going to be a lot of this, I do warn you. So I will come back to that one on the next video, mate. And what is the best thing about being in the YouTube community? You guys, basically. It keeps me in touch with everybody. We all have great fun on the group. I'm not really one for meets, but I'm not saying that won't change in the future. But it's just not me at the moment. That's all. But as far as the YouTube community goes, I don't think I could do without it now. It's weird. 4 or 5 years ago when I first started doing this, as I've said before, it was an absolute no-no. I just basically said when it was suggested to me, absolutely not. There's no way I could sit in front of a camera for 4 or 5 minutes and just talk. And here I am now talking for an hour, hour and a half. And it's you guys that keep it going. As I say, it would be a very different animal if it wasn't for these comments. So, yeah, I would say you guys, without a doubt, that is my main reason for staying within the YouTube community, because I love it and I love you lot. So, let's see. Also, taking the occasional break from YouTube is okay. Yeah, I mean, I only tend to do it if I'm poorly or if something comes up like yesterday with Maya being ill. Otherwise, I do tend to just kind of soldier on. I know a lot of people take sort of summer breaks and this, that, and the other. But they have to put people like Callie with Miss Violet's Underworld. They put a lot more planning into their videos than I do. I simply cut and paste your comments and then wing it for the rest of it. Just basically commenting on your comments. So I wouldn't say there's nothing to it, but I don't need to put as much planning into what I do as Callie has to do with hers, and Steve, my God. How much planning must it take to do Let's Talk Criterion? I dread to think. So yeah, it is, for me, it's quite easy, but excuse me, but yes, I do occasionally get the odd weekend where I think, oh, I can't be arsed with this. But as I've said before, I just look at the comments that you guys have left me and it's like, that's why I do it. So let's see. I want to see a Blu-ray release of Cursed Films. This is the documentary. I think you'll find there is one. Have a look on Amazon, Dave. I'm fairly sure I have seen one on there, a Blu-ray release. I'm certain of it. And I think, your final comment, I think you were talking about the Superman movies. You said the first and second ones are great. Let me know what your thoughts are on Superman 4. I've not seen it. It's the only Superman Christopher Reeve movie that I've not actually seen, but I've just got a copy of it on Blu-ray, which is probably why you're asking me. On 4K, actually, I should say, which is probably why you're asking me about it. As soon as we've watched it, I will give you my thoughts on it. And I was asked last night, what do you want to watch next week? And I said, well, your choice for a change. And he said, well, I bought you Superman 3, so let's have a look at that. And I'm fairly sure that will lead on to Superman 4, so you won't have long to wait on that one, mate. So thanks for that, Dave. Much appreciated, mate. Always good to hear from you. Sparkstron 73, morning, mate. Happy birthday. Some great gifts you have there, especially the last one. Be cool to see it working. If you upload some clips, I'd be very interested. I'm going to do it. I'm definitely going to do it. It just depends on when. But leave it with me. That will be coming very, very shortly. I promise you. I've already made notes on what I'm going to do in this, that, and the other. So it's imminent. So thanks for that, mate. Much appreciated. Scott, the lovely Scott. Morning, Scott. Excellent video, Tony. Thank you for the kind words at the start, mate. I will still be uploading a little bit, just not as much as I used to. You're more than welcome, mate. I probably went a bit over the top because I was saying stuff like, we'll miss you and this, that, and the other. You're not actually going anywhere. You're just going to be uploading fewer videos, which I completely get. But if you did pack it in altogether, I would miss you dreadfully. So please don't do that. So you got some great stuff there, mate, especially the Dawn of the Dead release from Second Sight. Lovely set, and you can't go wrong with the original Night of the Living Dead as well. Also a great film, and that Criterion set is great. We've yet to watch it. It's yet to come out of the cellophane. I've seen Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead before. The only one of the trilogy, the original trilogy that I've not seen is Day of the Dead. Or I saw it. Did I watch that one? I might have watched it in the 80s, but it didn't stick with me at all. I can't remember anything about it apart from the zombie in chains. That's pretty much all I can remember. And I could have seen that on the trailer. So that's the only one I've not seen. And I have to say I've not seen any of the subsequent entries. Is it Diary of the Dead, stuff like that? I've not seen any of the remakes of Dawn of the Dead, or I believe they remade Day of the Dead and Night of the Living Dead. So I've not seen any of those. But I do intend to put that right at some point. Awesome stuff, mate. Cheers, Scott. Much appreciated, and it's great to hear from you. As always, Steve Mack, our Criterion guy. Morning, Steve. Fortnightly is a good middle ground, Tony. You can always take a break when you feel like it. You'd probably miss it if you stopped altogether. We certainly would. Thanks, mate. Much appreciated. I would miss it. I would miss it dreadfully. I remember, what was it I had? Was it last Christmas when I was offline for 3 or 4 weeks? And it just doesn't feel right getting up on a Sunday morning and not doing anything. So you're right, I would absolutely miss it terribly, and I would miss you guys as well. YouTube is very habit forming, isn't it? Yeah, we know that. Watched Mr. Burton telling the story of the Welsh actor as a young man. I enjoyed Toby Jones's performance as his teacher and mentor. Toby Jones is watchable in anything that he does. He's not your typical movie star. I enjoyed watching him in, was it The Post Office and Mr. Jones, about the post office scandal? That was amazing, absolutely brilliant. And anything that I've ever seen Toby Jones in, I've enjoyed. And Mr. Burton was no exception. That was just a cracking movie. And the guy that played Richard Burton, as I've said before, spot on. We were talking about soundtracks, and Steve says, I would add Maurice Jarre, Miklos Rozsa, and Thomas Newman. Jerry Goldsmith, also Carter Burwell, to the best scores list. Maurice Jarre, yes, I know of Maurice Jarre. Miklos Rozsa, can't say I've heard of him, or Thomas Newman. Jerry Goldsmith, did he do the soundtrack to Legend? I can't remember. Carter Burwell, complete mystery to me, but I'm going to be looking up those guys basically before the next video, so I can give you my thoughts on some of their soundtracks then. I got all the Scream Factory Halloween 4Ks, so I'm okay. Yeah, well, we're talking about that magnificent looking Halloween set from Imprint. So it'd be an Australian import. I think it was $500. Even our Ginger Ninja in Australia was basically umming and erring on that one. I don't think I'm going to go for it. I really don't. It looks a beautiful set, it really does, and I would love to have it in the collection, but $500, that's a lot of money. That would equate to about probably £350, probably more. And I just can't justify it. I really can't. Especially when you can buy all the individual titles on Blu-ray for under a tenner, I would think now. So yeah, it's a lovely looking set, but not for me, mate. So thanks for that, Steve. Much appreciated, mate. Always good to hear from you. Stuart, morning, Stu. Wow, that Super 8 projector is a thing of beauty. Look forward to seeing the video of it up and running. It's coming, just hang in there. I will be doing it. The one I'm going to have to run through it is going to be the little Bela Lugosi reel, because I've yet to get a spare 400-foot reel to project the Star Wars movie. I know where to get them from. I've located a little store in, is it Grimsby, that specialises in Super 8 movies, projectors, anything Super 8 related. I would love to take a trip down there. It looks an amazing place. I could browse in there for hours, but I would imagine they keep spares like that, so I will be ordering one so I can hopefully project the Star Wars reel. I'm not sure whether that projector has the facility to project sound movies. I'm not sure. I won't know until I actually do it, so leave that with me. Thanks for that, Steve. Much appreciated, mate. Sam, the lovely Sam. Morning, Sam. Good morning, Tony, mate. What a grand kickstart to the weekend with your blog landing a day early. Let's get this party started. Easy, Tiger. Morning, Sam. Always good to hear from you, mate. Tony, by the time your next blog is out, I would have watched Where Eagles Dare for the first time. I've never seen it. Really good film set in World War II. The score and snowy setting is excellent. Clint firing on all cylinders as ever. What's your thoughts? I haven't got any because I've not seen it yet, but I intend to get it watched. Maybe I could add it to this incredible pile of movies I've got next to me now. Um, I wouldn't mind watching it. I do remember thinking it was always on at Christmas, wasn't it? And I'm wondering whether the snowy setting had anything to do with that. Maybe. But I will give you my thoughts on Where Eagles Dare when I've actually watched it. I will add it to the watch list for the next couple of weeks. And the watch list is getting better, I might add. It is. As you will see from the posts I've been putting on sort of Saturday night when I've been watching movies on Saturday afternoon. So it is getting better and I'm getting there. It's just a slow crawl, so you'll just have to bear with me. But I will add Where Eagles Dare to that list, and I've got it. I believe it's on a double disc Blu-ray set with, is it Von Ryan's Express or something like that? I can't remember, but leave that with me, Sam. Tony, is there any classic TV shows or retro animated shows you'd love to see get the Blu-ray treatment? I need to come back on that one. Retro shows. I'm not a massive fan of the black bars down the sides of the screen. I don't mind the ones across the top because it's very cinematic, the top and bottom, the actual widescreen. But for some reason, I don't like the black bars down the side, which is what a lot of these retro animated shows, this is the aspect ratio that they were actually made in. They were made to fit old televisions. So I'm not a massive fan of it. I always used to like it when images filled the screen, even if, and I know you get a lot of people criticising when this happens, that when they stretch them into widescreen you lose a little bit of the image on the bottom. I don't care. I really don't care about stuff like that. I like to watch a full screen thing. I'm getting more used to it. The more I see it, the more I don't notice it. But if I'm going to be buying Blu-rays of retro animated shows, I would rather they be in sort of 16.9 or 1.78 or whatever it is. But if I had to pick any, I would probably say the Irwin Allen sci-fi series. I've already got Lost in Space. I've got Voice to the Bottom of the Sea. I've got Voice to the Bottom of the Sea is actually on DVD. I think the only one I've got on Blu-ray is Lost in Space. Time Tunnel, that would look handsome on Blu-ray. What's the other one he did? Remind me. Land of the Giants. That would look awesome. So they're the only ones I can think of, but I'll come back on that one as well. I pre-ordered the BBC adaptation of the Narnia series on Blu-ray. Don't remember it. Is this from the 80s or the 70s or maybe even the 90s? I do remember the films that came out probably 20 years ago. I think I saw one of them, which I quite enjoyed, but I never bothered with any of the others. So I also wouldn't mind getting the Camberwick Green Trumpton Chigley universe on Blu-ray at some point. Me neither. And that kind of contradicts what I've just said about the aspect ratios, but they do. I bet they look absolutely gorgeous on Blu-ray. The colours will just pop out on that one. I'm thinking of starting a collection at some point of old kids programs because a lot of them are being released on Blu-ray now. Camberwick Green, Paddington, there's loads. Ivor the Engine. I absolutely adore Ivor the Engine. The one I would love to see is the Magic Roundabout. I would love to see every episode of that collected on Blu-ray. God, there are so many. But yeah, I almost certainly will be getting that Camberwick Green Trumpton Chigley universe. I've not heard it called that before. Definitely at some point, so watch this space. Oh yes, I really enjoyed Times Square, mate. Good solid flick with an awesome soundtrack. I've not watched it for years. I have got that new DVD which I've not watched yet, and I would love for it to come out on Blu-ray because I bet that would look and sound amazing. Am I off centre? That's better. I watched Birdman of Alcatraz for the first time, Tony, and thought it was great. A really interesting prison drama. Do you have any favourite Burt Lancaster films or any recommendation for someone who's fairly new to his filmography? The only one I can think of off the top of my head, and I'm fairly sure you will have seen this, is Local Hero, which I thought he was brilliant in. It's a Bill Forsyth comedy set in a Scottish village. A guy from America visits the village with the intent on buying all of the land and the whole village to build an oil refinery on. And it's basically his efforts to persuade the villagers to sell up so that they can move in and build this oil refinery. He was absolutely amazing. I can't think of any others. There were, I think I saw him in one called The Swimmer, which was good. Leave that with me. I know I'm putting a lot of these questions off, and I do apologise, but I really didn't have time to go into all this yesterday with everything that was happening with the dogs. So leave this with me. I will come back on all of these. Tony, not long now till my traditional horror film marathon begins. I see, I see the Star and Shadow Cinema are screening The Innocents, which I booked to see on the 26th of October. Also, the Blair Witch Project on the 29th of October. Have you seen these, bud? I've seen both. The Innocents is absolutely brilliant. It's a black and white movie starring Deborah Kerr, based on the Henry James novel Turn of the Screw. Saw it years ago, but an amazing film. Quite controversial at times as well, as I remember. Well, it was back in 1961, I think, when it came out. The Blair Witch Project. The Blair Witch Project is one of those few films that got into my head and would not leave. The ending was just horrifying. Well, not horrifying, but it was haunting. That's the only word I can think of for it. There were a few sleepless nights caused with that one. Rob hated it. He just thought it was good. I think we'd heard all of the publicity about it at the time, and it was one of the first movies that I imported on Blu-ray based on what I'd heard about it. And I basically said to him, "Got this brilliant horror movie. We've got to watch it." Watched it, and before I said anything, I said, "What did you think of it?" And he said, "For seeing what we'd heard about it, that's the biggest load of crap." And I went, "Really? Yeah. Why did you like it?" I don't think I'm going to be able to stop thinking about it for months. So yes, I did like it, but horses for courses in it. But I thought it was great. Cineworld are screening some classic horror movies next month, mate. Looks like I'm heading over to Cineworld Newcastle on the 13th of October to see my favourite John Carpenter film, The Fog, which I saw in 35mm at Tyneside a couple of years ago. What a movie. What an absolute banger of a Halloween film. The Fog, just brilliant. John Carpenter at the height of his powers. I don't think it got any better than that, apart from Escape from New York, which was obviously a different genre. But as horror goes, I think he peaked with The Fog. It was just brilliant. Hope you had an awesome. Hope you had an awesome birthday, Tony. Great birthday haul, mate. I've never seen Superman 2, 3 or 4 with Christopher Reeve. I've seen 2 and I've seen 3. I think I saw both of those at Burton Odeon when they came out, but I've never seen 4, so I'm really looking forward to having a look at that one. Would love to take a look at the Haunted House of Horror. And speaking of my horror marathon, which I'm kickstarting next month, I'd love to get onto more Hammer horror. Hammer horror to me is what I grew up with. That is what I started to watch when I got this interest in horror movies, was Hammer films and the old Universal monster movies and the creature features of the 50s, like Tarantula, Them, The Black Scorpion, The Deadly Mantis, I think there was another one. I absolutely love them. So Hammer, you cannot go wrong with. For a first, I would definitely recommend the original Dracula from 1958. That was everything. That basically that they set their stall out with that one. As soon as you watch that one, you will see all of the influences on future Hammer films. And obviously my favourite, Dracula AD 1972, which is not to everybody's taste, but I absolutely adore it. So, The Haunted House of Horror, it is a window on the swinging 60s. It's just brilliant. I would highly recommend it if you get the chance to watch it. I think it's out on 88 Films, but I would highly recommend it. Tony, take care, mate. Great to see you doing well, buddy, and keep up the awesome content as ever. Thank you so much, Sam. Much appreciated, mate. Always good to hear from you. Mark. Morning, Captain. Monthly? Nah, I'll pass on that idea. I still say 4 times a week like EastEnders. Well, you come and fucking do it then. 4 times a week? Wow. The Fall with Gillian Anderson, a good TV series, and Gillian isn't British. She was raised in London from a young age, but she was born in Chicago. Didn't know that. I'm going to have to look into that. I think she's incredible. I think she's absolutely brilliant. She was good as Scully in The X Files, but I had no idea that she could act beyond that. I've seen her in quite a few bits and pieces, and she's just amazing. I would watch anything that she's in now, definitely. Jason, I don't think he got the piss tape reference. I can't remember what it was. So, no, you're probably right. I probably didn't get it. See you in 2 weeks, Captain. You certainly will, mate. Absolutely. Let's see. Oh, we're coming on to Jason K. JK, the Ginger Ninja. I'm going to take a quick break because I'm up to 30 minutes. I'll be back in just a second. And we're back. Right, back into it. Jason K, our Ginger Ninja. Morning, Jay. We'll definitely get to this when I can. Taking the weekend off to be a complete drunken larrikin. What the fuck's a larrikin? That's a word I've never heard before. Basically, Jay didn't have time to watch the video. Basically when it dropped and he was going to come back to it, which he did. And I've got here, good day Tony, good day Skip. Finally getting around to, that wasn't taking the piss, by the way, that was a classic line from the movie Rippy, which I'm sure Jay has seen. These bloody glasses. There we go. They'll probably drop again any minute now. Let's see, finally getting around to this one. It's been a hell of a week. I've updated a few of my DVDs to 4K. I've not updated the Blu-rays to 4K. I don't see the point in it, as the small amount of 4K movies I have generally come with Blu-ray too. A man after my own heart. I do pretty much feel the same. As I say, I've yet to see a 4K transfer that I look at and think, that is a massive improvement. Apart from sci-fi epics like Star Trek The Motion Picture, which we don't talk about because people don't like it, but I do. But other movies, sort of small budget stuff, basic films, I can't see the point in buying the 4K when the Blu-ray is perfectly adequate. The only upgrade I have from DVD up to Blu-ray and 4K that I will not be getting rid of is my Dawn of the Dead 2004 edition, which I've never seen. The special features on the 4K are not on the Blu-ray, and they are amazing. Now that is my only proviso, and it's the same with the Bond movies. They've just been released on 4K. I did look at them, let's see, yesterday, and I've got a horrible feeling they don't come with a Blu-ray, which I definitely don't want because I haven't got a 4K player in every house, in every room in the house. So I would love to get the Bond movies individually, but I'm not going to pay for a basically for a 4K disc without a Blu-ray to fall back on in case I haven't got a 4K player in the room that I want to watch it in. So yeah, and I do like to make sure that the special features that are on the Blu-ray have been carried over to the 4K, which a lot of the time they haven't. So I'm going to have to do some serious comparison work on these Bond movies before I start investing in them, even though they're only 20 quid. I've obviously got them all on Blu-ray anyway, so we'll see how we go with that. But I do get that, absolutely. Still deciding on the Halloween Collector's Edition. Oh God, you're giving that some serious thought, aren't you? Mind you, at $500 you would do. Even though it has sold out from Viavision, it is available through another retailer over here. See, that surprises me that something as expensive as that has sold out already. But it's the price point that gets me each time I look at it. But still, like you, I would look at it and be like, is it worth $500? I mean, yes, it probably is, but then is it? I ummed and ahed over it for ages, and eventually I came to the decision that I can't justify that price. I really, really can't. If it was Close Encounters, I would give it some very, very serious thought, and I would probably go for it. But the Halloween movies, as much as I love them, they're not my entire world. So, yeah, I do get it, mate. I do. You are not alone with not seeing Passion of the Christ. Not that I'm squeamish. It's just a movie that's never interested me. Um, yeah, I know I've got to watch it at some point because I keep banging on about it. But again, it's just the decision as to whether to watch the strong uncut version or the one that's had most of the sort of stronger violence taken out. But as I've said before, everybody has said that you really, really need to see the uncut version, because that is the one that will have the most effect on you. Of course, it'll have the most effect on me. It'll probably make me puke. So leave that with me. But Apocalypto, loved it as a one-off, as a once-off. Not sure if it will draw me back in. Again, never seen it. It's another Mel Gibson directed movie, that's supposed to have a little animal cruelty in it, which I'm not overly happy with. But again, I've got it, so I might as well take a look at it. I get the feeling it's one of those movies, like you, I'm going to watch it and it's going to go straight in the charity box, because I probably won't watch it again. That is an awesome Dawn of the Dead set. It's beautiful. I'm not talking out the cellophane yet, but I'm sure it will be beautiful. And that Super 8 projector, holy heck, that is amazing. I couldn't have been more surprised when I saw what that was. But it's a beautiful thing, and I can't wait, as I've said before, to do a video of it actually working. Whether I'm actually going to start collecting Super 8 movies again, I don't know, but I would like to get hold of the ones that I used to have when I had my initial setup, which would have been when I was 15 or 16. So yeah, as soon as I do a video on that one, Jay, I will drop that on YouTube and you can take a look at that holy heck thing working. Great vid, Tony. All the best, and until next time. Thanks ever so much, Jay. Great to hear from you. Guy. Morning, Guy. I ain't heard from you for a few weeks, mate. It's lovely to get this through. Right, ready for an epic? Absolutely. Glad to see Maya is doing well. Bless her. Yeah, she was until yesterday. She's doing well again, mate, so thanks for that. Much appreciated. Never thought I'd be the voice of reason, but you're very welcome. Yeah, this was a discussion we were having about me going monthly with this, and I happened to catch you on Messenger one night and we had a little chat about it, and you were very much my voice of reason. I do need it occasionally. Thoughts just go all over the damn place, and every now and then it's just nice to have somebody to sort of help me sort them out. So yeah, much appreciated, mate. Man of Steel, don't bother. Oh God, is it that bad? I'm a bit of a completist, as you know, so if I'm going to watch all of the Christopher Reeves again, I'm going to have to move on to that. So I will have to give it a look, but I believe it's in the box set that I've already got, which contains the Christopher Reeve quadruple set. And I believe Man of Steel is part of it. So it's not as if I've got to buy it, but I will take a look and let you know. But I'm not holding out much hope, to be quite honest. I've still not bought a single 4K yet. What? Even though I have the TV and a PS5 to play them on, just haven't got round to it. You will in time. You'll spot one at the right price, and it'll be a movie that you love, and you'll grab it. I know you will. I'm very selective about what I buy on 4K nowadays. It is getting better, and I've got something to prove the point a little bit later, actually. Hollyoaks, shit. Yeah, in it. I've seen odd episodes when I literally can't be asked to change the channel, and it is just dire rubbish. The only one I'm ever going to be interested in watching, and Jay, you can tell me when this is going to be, is the Brookside crossover episode, which I'll be very, very interested to watch, but I will be abandoning it straight after that. So, Re the Stammer Dude, don't worry about it. It doesn't bother any of us. I've been doing it over the last few minutes, but I can go for weeks and it not happen. I can get weeks when I will literally go through a whole hour or an hour and a quarter and not a sign of it. And then I'll get other weeks when it's like, I can't wait to get this finished because this just isn't working. And occasionally I will watch the video back, the one that I'm concerned about, and I'll think, actually, that's not as bad as I thought it would. It isn't as bad as it seemed to be when I was actually doing it. But as you know, with anything like that, I'm very, very self-conscious of it. I know when it's happening, and I know when to draw this thing to a close, because I know it's not going to go away. Today has been exceptionally good. I've had a couple of little episodes, but nothing major, which means I've probably cursed it. It's going to be an absolute nightmare from here on in. I hope not, but yeah, I'm very self-conscious of it, mate. But I appreciate you saying that you don't you either don't notice it or you don't care. That's very much appreciated. That will actually help, believe it or not. Over the Top, great popcorn action film. Get it watched. I will. I'm going to grab a copy of that at some point. I will add that to the watch list for the next couple of weeks, so hopefully I'll be able to give you some kind of an opinion on that one. I think I've shied away from it due to the subject matter. Arm wrestling, it just doesn't do anything for me at all, but I'm sure there's more to it than that. Talking of Stallone, have you seen Cobra? No. I've seen the first few minutes where he confronts that guy in the shop and shoots him, but I've not gone any further than that with it. That's the only bit I've seen. And to be fair, that's probably the trailer I've seen, because that's part of the trailer. Excuse me. So, no, I haven't seen Cobra. And I have got it. I've got a Stallone box set which contains that one, Demolition Man, Detox, I think. So I'm going to dig that out. I'm going to be busy over the next couple of weeks by the looks of it. One of my favourites of his, Cobra, yes it is, I can tell. One of my favourite movie, 4, 3, 2, 1, here we go. One of my favourite movie cars as well. It is a beautiful car he's got. I don't know what it is, but it's absolutely gorgeous. Which leads me to a question for you and the group as a whole. What's your top 10 movie TV cars? Here's mine in no particular order. Now, the guys have already done this. I've yet to do mine. I might do it as a regular post next week, actually. One a day or something like that. But yours favourites. Number 1, the Mad Max V8 Interceptor. Beautiful. Number 2, the 1989 Batmobile. Yeah. 3, James Bond Aston Martin DB5. That would probably be my top car. Number 4, Cobra, Awesome 50. Awesome 50. 5, James Bond Lotus. That would be the Esprit in The Spy Who Loved Me. Beautiful thing. 6, Back to the Future DeLorean. Oh yeah. Number 7, Knight Rider Kit. I've seen one episode of Knight Rider and it is a cool car. I'll give you that. Number 8, OFAH, the Reliant. Only Fools and Horses, that's got to be. The three-wheeler thing. I like it. Number 9, the 1966 Batmobile, the original. And number 10, Christine, the Stephen King movie. Oh, yeah, absolutely. 1958 Plymouth Fury, if I remember right. Good list. And I will supply you with mine at some point soon, I promise. Bless Rob for getting you your birthday list. Back in the day, I knew he'd make someone a good hubby. Glad it was you. Cheers, mate. Much appreciated. Guy worked with Rob many, many years ago at a place called Irish Menswear, which was next door to a music shop on High Street. And I was astonished to find out that they'd worked together, and Rob was even more astonished when he realised who I was actually talking to on the group. So thanks for that, mate. Much appreciated. It's nearly 40 years now, so no going back. Fuck. Star Wars Super 8. Do you realise you now have a copy of the film Despecialised? Han shot first. None of George Lucas's monkeying about with it. Do you know what? It never occurred to me until I read that, and I thought, my God, yeah, this is going to be the version before the special editions came out. I mean, it's only a 400-foot reel, so the whole thing will last about 16 minutes, and it is just excerpts from the movie, but they've managed to condense it down into 16 minutes, which they did with Super 8 all those years ago. But it never occurred to me. And the hand shot first reference, I'd completely forgotten about that. There was a lot of controversy about that at the time, wasn't there? When the special editions came out, they changed the order of that. But no, I didn't realise until I read that. So thanks ever so much for that. And I can't wait to get myself a 400-foot reel so I can actually watch it again. Great episode, mate. See you in 2 weeks. Thanks ever so much for taking the time for all that, Guy. Much appreciated. I know you've had a lot going on over the last sort of few weeks with your job and this, that, and the other. I believe you were doing nights and you hated them. I couldn't do nights. I could not do nights now. My body could not stand it. But you're now working somewhere else on days and you've got your time back again. So very much appreciated that you took the time to comment all that for me. And I look forward to hearing from you on the next one as well. So. Right, Jason P. Ajay, morning Jay, great vid Tony, and I do love the idea of a Friday drop, which is good because that's how it's going to happen from now on. Everybody's pretty much said the same thing on and off, so I think it makes more sense. 4 a.m. on a Saturday was good, but this feels right to me, so I won't be tinkering with it again. Promise. Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice is a great film. I will take it in as part of this Superman thing when I actually get round to it. I've got sort of mixed reviews of this one. Some people said it was amazing. Some people said, why on earth does it even exist? But I will be taking it in as part of that journey. But I've got to admit, out of all the Superman films that I'm going to be watching, that would probably be bottom of the list, if sort of on the list at all. So yeah, it's good to hear a positive review of that one, or a positive thought on it. I'm surprised you have the standard edition of Yearbook 76 and not the deluxe limited booklet ones. I collect those, although they cost a bit more though. I've got the collector's editions on all the others. For some reason I didn't pre-order the deluxe edition with the booklet in it. I don't know why, I just didn't. That's one that slipped through the net, but I'll make sure I do with the next one, definitely, especially now that you've mentioned that. I've just started to watch Hollyoaks, so I'm in the loop for the Brookside crossover specials, which I'm hoping you'll keep me informed on. I'll watch for the next 6 weeks before those episodes air. Oh God, no, really? Then I won't be bothering again. Have to say, the 6 episodes I've watched so far are absolute dog shit. That comes as absolutely no surprise to me at all. Thank fuck they're only 20 minutes long. Yeah, totally get that. Blasphemous. Oh, we're talking about blasphemous rants. Blasphemous because it's a Sunday and you cannot blaspheme on a Sunday. You cannot blaspheme on a Sunday. Is that right? I think I've broken that rule already. As for my posters pending, you've had some serious issues with these bloody posters. I really have no idea. It's the 70s ones that give me most trouble. The ones with stockings and suspenders and, of course, tight pants. Now, I had a problem with Staggered and you didn't. That was the Martin Clunes movie. That's probably because I had the word naked in the description, because as soon as I blanked that out, it was okay. I don't get Facebook. I do not get how the hell it works. I've had posts pulled before now, but nothing major. But you seem to have so much trouble with these bloody posters. Nice birthday haul, mate. Just shows how well you thought of at work. Yeah, it was amazing. As I say, that projector just absolutely blew me away, and it still does when I look at it now. Let's see. Now, does Rob know that you don't actually take any of the movies he buys you out of the wrapper? No, he doesn't. He probably thinks I watch them all straight away, but I don't, obviously. I've got so many. But we are watching a couple of them over the next couple of weeks, the 2 Superman movies that I mentioned earlier. So I'll just take the cellophane off when he's not looking. Have a great fortnight and see you on the 26th. I'm out for a meal that night, so I'll have some great viewing when I get in. Oh, thanks, mate. Much appreciated. And then he had a little footnote. 4K versus Blu-ray. I don't do 4K, so I don't have that problem. Just lately, I've preferred buying the DVD over the Blu-ray. I suppose them being half the price helps. Plus, there's nothing that special about the Blu-ray cases. I mean, look at my Dog Day Afternoon DVD case, for instance. Very nice, immaculate condition, and about £1.45 off eBay. For some reason, DVDs cost more than Blu-rays in CEX. You can't buy any DVD for under £1 in there, but Blu-rays start at 50p. Go figure. I don't get that one either. As I say, I'm very selective about what I buy now, and I'm not snobbish about buying second-hand goods. So yeah, £1.45 for a movie. Can't go wrong. So thanks for that, Jay. Much appreciated, mate. Right, I think that's all the comments out of the way. I'll start showing off these bits. Now, these have been sitting under... Move me. There you go. These have been sitting under the TV for, some of them for 3 or 4 years, probably more. I really do need to take them all back upstairs and just keep down the 4 or 5 that I promised I'm going to watch over the next few weeks in time for, hopefully, for the next video. Right, I'll start with what I've got, and there are quite a few, so I'll rattle through them very quickly, but these are all under the TV as we speak. First one is my Bond box set. That lives under there for the simple reason that there are just some days that I love to watch a Bond film. I don't care which one it is, I just fancy a Bond film, and it happens about once a month, so it's just handy to have that underneath there. Now, that is the one I'm probably going to be sort of replacing with the 4Ks, if the 4Ks include a Blu-ray disc and they have all the special features lifted off that set. So that's the first one. Next one is one I had for my birthday last year. Doctor Who, the collection, season 10. This was me dipping my toe in the water of Doctor Who on Blu-ray. I have looked at a couple of episodes of this. I believe it's got, let's see, The Three Doctors, Carnival of Monsters, Frontier in Space, Planet of the Daleks and The Green Death. The image is absolutely brilliant. It's just these bloody black bars down the side, which is obviously how they fitted on an old TV, an analog TV, before we got to all these widescreen things. The jury's still out. I don't know whether to replace all of my DVDs with these, even though the special features are awesome on these. So that's another one. And the one I showed off the other week has made it under the TV, but I've not watched it yet. That's the Quatermass Experiment set that I got probably a few weeks ago. I've got a few here. These are all... I can't believe how many I've crammed under there, but I have. There's Nightbreed, which Callie will know that I've already watched this now, finally, and I've reviewed it on the group and on Letterboxd. So that can go back upstairs. This was last night's movie, Harold and Maude. What an absolutely incredible film. If you've not seen it before, it's got the most amazing Cat Stevens soundtrack. It's about a young lad, about 18, who's obsessed with death, dying. He stages many fake suicides in front of his mum. His main hobby is visiting funerals or going to funerals, and that's where he meets a lovely 79-year-old lady named Maude, and they strike up an unusual friendship. This is just a beautiful film. It's an absolute masterpiece. I've seen this 3 or 4 times. Rob hadn't, and he quite enjoyed it, so that was worth watching. So that can go back upstairs now. Life on Mars Series 2. Yes, I know. This is going to stay under the TV. I've seen season 1, but I've not watched season 2 yet. So that is going to stay where it is. I'm going to be sorting this lot out when I've done this. And the ones that I don't think I've got any intention of watching straight away will go back upstairs. But this ain't one of them. So The Fall Guy. Can't even remember why I bought this. I think it was on the back of purchasing the 18 Knight Rider, Airwolf, and what was the other one? I went through a bit of a phase of buying sort of the first season of American TV programs that I'd said I'd never watched, and everybody said, why haven't you watched it? So I got The Fall Guy, but I've not watched an episode of that yet, so that will probably stay where it is. To Kill a Mockingbird. I actually bought this on Blu-ray probably about 6 months ago, so this is probably going to the charity shop. Young Eagles. This is one of those 12-part cinema serials that they used to put on in the 30s and 40s before the main feature. There were usually 12 episodes with cliffhanger endings. Steven Spielberg is well known for saying that these kind of things is what inspired him to make Raiders of the Lost Ark. So, Catch-22. I know nothing about this. I can't even remember where I got it from. But it's one that I wouldn't mind watching. I love the title, to be honest. I don't know what it's about, though. Touch of Evil. This was recommended to me by a colleague at work who's no longer with us. I don't mean he's dead. I mean he's moved on. But this is supposed to be an Orson Welles classic. So that's one I do need to watch at some point. But it can go back upstairs for now. The Man from Hong Kong. Made in 1975 or 6. Do you remember a song called Sky High by Jigsaw? massive hit at the time. That was part of the soundtrack of this. So this is one, I've seen it before. George Lazenby is in this. I didn't realise he could do martial arts, but he is absolutely superb in this. The last stop in Yuma County. This was recommended by Ollie from Ollie Loves Films. I need to take a look at this. I think this is one that I put under the TV because I thought I definitely need to check that out and soon. So that's going to stay where it is. Another one recommended by Ollie, Finding Forrester. Same thing, never seen it, but he recommended it, so I will be taking it in. And another, Wind Talkers with Nicolas Cage. I think it's set in the Vietnam War or the Korean War, can't remember. But again, that's one that I do need to take in. The Statement, this is another one. I do listen to what you guys recommend me. This is a Michael Caine film that I've never heard of, but he made it sound interesting, so I thought we'll have that. And finally, 10 Items or Less. Not sure what he thought of this. I can't remember him thinking it was brilliant, but I think he said it was okay. And the idea of it intrigued me, so I thought I'll give that a go. And this is one David's going to be on to me about because he recommended this to me ages ago. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It's supposed to be a college movie, but I don't think it's strictly speaking a comedy. So I'll see how I go with that one at some point, I promise. And finally, very quickly rattle through these. My Alfred Hitchcock box set. We were going to go through sort of a Saturday night Alfred Hitchcock season, which came and went. Started with Psycho, and that's as far as we got. We did watch The Lady Vanishes the other week, but I don't believe that is part of this set. I think that was a DVD, but that's another one I need to come back on. Heart of Dragon, this is one Dave Lowe recommended to me, and I keep picking this one up and meaning to put it on, but it's still sitting there. The TV series of Planet of the Apes, 13 episodes. I absolutely loved this series, but I loved the Planet of the Apes films, the earliest ones, with Charlton Heston, James Franciscus, all that. This series came along about 1974, and I think it was after the original franchise had finished, but I used to love that. Doctor Who and the Underwater Menace. I can't remember whether I've seen this or not. I suspect probably not because it's Patrick Troughton and I'm just moving on to Patrick Troughton's now, so that's got to be come back on. I've no idea where I got this one from. It's one of these things that was free with a newspaper, Le Boucher. No idea what it's about. Stardust, bought that on Blu-ray not too long back, so that's going to the charity shop. Same with this one, Virgin Suicides. Chaplin at Keystone. This is a series of shorts that he made for Keystone, for the Keystone studio, for Max Sennett. I've only watched the first one. I meant to go on a Chaplin journey because I wanted to watch all of his movies. I watched a fascinating documentary last night about Buster Keaton. So I'm going to be starting that one off as well. But I love silent comedy. I think this is Rob's. I don't think it's mine. The Young Doctors. This was an Australian soap that screened usually of a lunchtime in the 70s. It's something that we used to watch if we went home from school for dinner. There was this one and Sons and Daughters, but The Young Doctors, it was good, but I definitely wouldn't have bought this for me. Definitely not, so I'm sure that's Rob's. Cinema Paradiso, legendary, classic movie. This is the 3-hour director's cut. I really, really want to watch this, so this is staying where it is. Gran Turismo, bought this one only a few weeks back, based on the recommendation of a colleague at work. Not had a chance to watch it yet. Sorry, Mark. Young Guns 1 and 2. Yes, I will get round to it, I promise. I will add this one to the watch list for the next couple of weeks, at least one of them anyway. And finally, oh God, don't laugh. The Osmonds, Up Close and Personal, the Final Tour Collector's Edition. It's a lovely set, this. Have a look at this. Got the book, all the photos and that. I bought this on the back of going to see the Osmonds in Nottingham Theatre Royal. This has got to be going back 10 years, so this must have been under there for at least that long. Oh, screen's gone out. And I'll tell you for why, because as soon as we got back, the first thing I went and did was went on Amazon to see what Osmond DVDs were on there, and I think this had got the same lineup, because a lot of them are no longer doing it, obviously through ill health and all this age. And this was the most recent one, so I thought I'll grab this and I'll definitely take a look at this 10 years later. So there you go. That is the collection of DVDs that I've got hidden underneath the TV, which I will be sorting out when I finish this. And a lot of them will be going back upstairs, and one or two will be coming down based on the promises that I've made to you guys for basically watching stuff over the next couple of weeks. So right, I'm going to take another quick break. I've only got about another 5 minutes left, which is just some bits and pieces that I bought, which I'll come back in just a second and show those off, and then we're all done. So back in a minute. And we're back. Right, just had a truly heart-stopping moment. Was transferring the final, or the last half hour, over to the PC, and for some reason I decided to pull the cable out, which cut the transfer off halfway through. I thought for one horrible moment I'd lost the whole half hour, but it transferred over perfectly well the second time. I've just got to watch it through to make sure that it's gone over okay. But yeah, that was a bit of a nightmare. It had the potential to be one. So right, just got a few bits to show off. We're coming into the final stretch, guys. I don't want this to last more than about 5 minutes, so I'll rattle through these as quickly as possible, because I'm sure you've got better things to do than listen to me rattling on. So I'll start with the magazines, just a few bits I bought. Got this from Morrison's last week. The Tudors, Book of the Tudors, Discover the Legendary Period of British History and the People Who Shaped It. I love this particular period of history. Rob is pretty much an expert on this. He knows pretty much everything about the Tudors that you could possibly need to know, but I don't, so I grabbed that. Latest issue of Doctor Who magazine, with Jodie Whittaker on the front. DIY Dalek Invasion of Earth 1974 AD. Fascinated by the idea of that. I will be sorting some of these out for you, Guy. Just let me know how many you actually want. Do you want them all? Because there will be quite a few. Or do you just want a small selection of them? Just let me know, because I'm in the process of getting ready to sort these things out. I'm being nagged relentlessly about thinning them out a bit. So the latest issue of SFX, you got articles on Predator, Star Wars, Red Dwarf, Doctor Who, Conan, Blade Runner, Gen V, which I've never seen, The Strangers, Space 1999, Stranger Things. It's a cracking magazine, that. The same goes for this one, Guy. I've got quite a few back issues of this. Do you want them all, or just sort of the latest ones or whatever? Let me know. Latest issue of Healthy Living. Yes, we've had this discussion. I do read these. There are a lot of handy little health tips in there, which are not just for the women. You know, we can benefit from them as well. And the latest issue of Slimming World. I've got to start losing a bit of weight, so I'm hoping that can inspire me to start doing it. Right, a few Blu-rays and DVDs. First one, Where the Crawdads Sing. This was on iPlayer, or was it Film 4, a while ago, and I completely missed it. It came back and I missed it again, so I thought, do you know what? You want to watch it, buy it, and if you don't like it, you can send it off to the charity shop. It's based on a best-selling novel. I'm not really sure what it's about, apart from the fact that it's to do with a woman that lives in the middle of the swamps, doesn't have much contact with the outside world, and it's to do with a murder. It just sounded fascinating, so I thought I'd give it a go. This one was recommended to me by a guy who I had no idea liked musicals. It came as a complete surprise. Les Mis. Never seen it, don't know anything about it, apart from it's based on a French novel by, I believe, Victor Hugo, I think. But this has got the most amazing reviews, and there are some people on Amazon that are saying this is the best film that they've ever seen. So looking forward to taking a look at that. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes, so God knows when. I heard Mark Kermo talking about this one would never have given it a second thought until I heard his brilliant review of it, Dougal and the Blue Cat. It's based on the Magic Roundabout. It's a feature-length movie made around, let's see, would it have been 1968? That kind of time, anyway. But he absolutely loved this. He saw it as a kid. I think his mum took him to see it. He loved it, and he still loves it to this day. So I thought, I'm going to give it a go because it sounds good. This is another one that Rob bought me for my birthday, but he had to order this one, and it came through last week. Who remembers Shoestring? Trevor Eve. He worked for a radio station, I believe it was Radio West, and he called himself a privateer as opposed to a private eye, and he basically took on cases of missing persons, all that kind of thing. I used to absolutely love this series, and the theme tune was just brilliant. I just thought it was great. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having a look at that. And finally, remember I've been banging on about this Doug McClure box set of Warlords of Atlantis, Land That Time Forgot, People That Time Forgot, At the Earth's Core. I was going to invest in the imprint Blu-ray edition, the Australian import, which worked out, I think about, was it £80? And or was it 60? And I thought, that's not bad. That's about £15 per Blu-ray. I could just about sort of cope with that. I actually hit the, what do they call it, the pre-order button on my way through to the checkout, and suddenly realised, hang on, there's postage to go on this as well, which added another sort of 40 quid to it. So it would have worked out round about 100, possibly slightly more. So I went onto Amazon and bought this. It's not Blu-ray, it's DVD, but the reviews, two of them say that the quality is absolutely superb for movies so old. Yet again, I couldn't justify £100 and something for 4 films when I only actually wanted 2 of them, ideally. So I got this for $16.99, not begrudgingly, but I would have loved that Blu-ray set. But if this is released in Blu-ray in the UK, I will almost certainly invest, because I don't think it'll be anywhere near as much as it would be in sort of importing that set from Australia. But I've now got them. I'm looking forward to watching them. There are only 3 in this set at the Earth's Core: Warlords of Atlantis, which is the one I really wanted, and The Land That Time Forgot, which I remember watching at Burton Odeon 1974 or 5ish, something like that. Loved it, absolutely loved it. Obviously the monsters are a bit ropey now because it's over 50 years old, but that's all we had back then. So yeah, you can see I'm getting a little bit more considerate, or giving a little more consideration to my poor old wallet. I just need to ease up a bit on the buying, that's all. And this seemed a very good place to start. So yeah, DVD, perfectly happy with that. So that is it, guys. That's all I've got. I'll be back in 2 weeks, God willing, and Maya willing. Thanks ever so much for joining me. If you've got any questions, comments, whatever. Oh, that bloody light. Hang on. Any questions and comments, please feel free to drop them, and I'll be answering all your questions from this week on the next one. I'll get them sorted. Thanks ever so much for joining me. It's been brilliant as per usual. A few little ropey moments, but we're not too bothered about that. Have a brilliant fortnight, folks, and I will see you again in 2 weeks. Take care. Ta-da.